and welcome to the MSDF LiveCast episode 5. I am hung like a zombie.
I'm Pervy Fat Man.
Harmony 12.
And this is Phoenix Otaku. Today we are coming to you from TurretCon.
Dirt? Yep.
So, what have you guys been up to here for the past few days?
Working.
I've been playing some Call of Duty Black Ops recently. Just got my phone back, so I'm trying to get everything set back into that. And I finally finished the first season of Kuroko no Basket. Now I gotta finish Yowamushi Pedal before I move on to the second season of that. So.
Okay. What about you, Derek? Any other stuff? Or not Derek, I'm sorry. Man, I don't know why I keep using your name. Nui, sorry.
I just purchased Dead Island. That was on sale for Steam. I just went to go play it for a little bit, and got this free RPG game from a friend at work, and trying to catch up on Railroads.
Railroads, or you mean Rail Wars?
Railroads, yeah. I'm sorry. So happens you work outside.
Don't you mean trains?
Yes, trains.
Yeah, no, everyone just keeps calling it Trains, the anime.
Yeah, but with me, I've been just trying to decide on which figures I want to get from Ami Ami, and still trying to plan my cosplay for Sabo.
I was gonna say, are you gonna cosplay here with Nui?
Well, I already keeping my word on that, so...
Oh, my costume's coming in. I already purchased it.
That means that you still have to get your bra.
Fuck the bra. End of story.
Come on, you gotta go authentic. 100% or nothing.
This ain't a French maid, okay?
What about you, Timmy? Are you thinking about doing anything special for Sabo?
Kira.
No, not breaking that out again. No, not really. Other than just having a good time. If we're having a good time with or without doing our panels.
Oh yeah, Timmy, did I tell you the first idea I had for cosplay?
What was it?
Spike Spencer's Bizarre Adventures, Tornado Crusaders.
Hey, I know what I'm gonna do at the con. I'm gonna start freaking out at a certain person.
Yeah.
We all know who.
Yeah, the bathrobe, the glass of champagne, the freaking cigar with the slick back hair.
Come at me, bro.
Oh my god.
Well, there is some good news, I would think, from Sabo, is that we got told today, that all the panel, or not suggestions, but the panel stuff is going to be officially done on Sunday, and everything will be out to everybody by that time. So hopefully we get, at least a few panels or a panel.
Shit, I want to go in free.
Well, it's not just that, man. For me, man, I'm going in, man, because I'm tired of all the freaking mainstream panels and crap. So hopefully that turns out. And I believe this week's top 10 is Overrated Anime. So Nui's gonna start off today's top 10, and on to you, Nui.
Well, starting it off for top 10, my number 10 is Bleach. I don't understand why Bleach is so overhyped. I mean, it's just detergent. What's next? Arm & Hammer? You next.
But
I know, it's a bad joke. It's still funny, though.
But it's a great joke.
Yeah, just like everything else with that. Bleach was kind of overhyped when it first came out. What was it? Toonami? I can't fucking remember.
it was Toonami.
Yeah, Toonami. Yeah. You know how Toonami likes to do it, which I got some others on this list, anyways. They just bolstered the shit out of it.
I was gonna say, like, when did Bleach come out? When it like 2006?
Yeah.
Like when Naruto did.
Well, I
Came
think
out
Naruto came out here in 2005.
Oh yeah, that's right. 2005.
Bleach came out in 2004 in Japan and 2006 here.
Okay. I was just wanting to make sure there.
I mean, it got good, but then after a while, you're just like, what the fuck? And like, what Phoenix Otaku said, it should have ended with Aizen.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. It should have ended. And fuck. Yeah, that's it. You next, whoever. You demon thingy behind me. Creepy troll thing. Fuck. Fiend.
Okay. My number 10 overrated anime is actually Persona 4, the animation, of course. This show, it's kind of overhyped, like a lot of, like it's like a lot of the Persona series out there. They're just really overrated. You know, like a lot of people say, "Oh, this is the best Persona ever." It's the greatest one. I get the feeling that's how 5's gonna be when 5 finally comes out.
Well, they're gonna overlook 5 because they're still gonna be doing shit for 4.
Yeah, but all the spin-offs for 4 and everything, but yeah, in a sense, Persona, the actual animation itself, while I'm not saying it's bad, it is overrated. A lot of people think it's probably the best thing to come out of the Persona series, and I do not agree with that. Moving on.
So with me, my number 10, and this, as far as a series go, this is one of the greatest magical girl series there is. But when it comes to the actual 12-episode show, it's overhyped. So number 10 for me is Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Here's the thing. Like I said, it is very great, and I would recommend it to anybody. But the thing is that everybody says that this is the greatest magical girl show there ever is, and anything that comes out after it has to either be Madoka or it's shit. We saw this with Ganai wo Kakeru Tayo. Everybody, a month before it even aired, was just like, oh, this isn't going to be Madoka, so this is going to be shit. Well, Ganai wo was actually better as a 12-episode series than Madoka was. The only thing that pushed Madoka above it was the third movie. So that's what makes Madoka overrated. Is that there's a better magical girl series out there. So that's number 10 for me, Puella Magi Madoka Magica. On the zombie.
And my number 10 is actually it's the show with all the countries and all that stuff. I believe it's Italia. And I know that's probably gonna piss off a lot of people, but
Here comes the war.
Watch, they're going to be throwing pasta at you for weeks.
Oh my gosh, with the macaroni and Italian puns.
One big bowl of macaroni coming up.
Pasta, 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 pasta.
What's her face is gonna show up in her tank?
Oh, you mean like pepperoni?
Yes, son.
Anchovy's going to be giving the orders.
Oh God.
But I'm pretty much like, what do you call it? I haven't watched this show, and I know I shouldn't be totally criticizing it. But I'm just like with any other like really main popular like kind of like shonen-ish type of show. It is somewhat shonen-ish in a way, in its own way. And like with everything, it's way too popular. Not saying that it shouldn't be popular, but I think you guys understand where I'm coming from, as in like kind of with like Bleach and Naruto and stuff like that. There's just so many people that like it that you know it's gonna not be as good as like as it should be. But mainly my main problem with it is that what would you call it? I just don't care for the comedy in it that much. But in my eyes, that's probably why I think it's overrated. And so that's my number 10, and we're back here with Nui for his number 9.
My number 9, it just happens to be a shonen, bro. It's Naruto.
Oh, Naruto.
Sausage!
Come back
Sausage!
to the village!
Chidori! Yes, Naruto pretty much just had the same thing Bleach had. After a while, you're like, yeah, we're doing it, we're doing it. And I'll have to be honest, the fillers just kind of ruined it for me.
Well, like, what do you call it? I've seen some of Bleach's filler, and from what you've told me, and Bleach just sounds way bad in filler. I mean, like, I'm watching Naruto, and most of the time I don't care for the filler itself, but from what you've told me that, like, they go on arcs for, like, 20 plus more episodes or longer, and it's just fucking dumb shit.
Well, here's the thing with the Bleach filler, is that you will have this timeline going, and then all of a sudden they will cut to a filler that's supposed to take place at the same time, but you have characters that aren't even supposed to
Be alive?
no, that aren't even supposed to be there. Like during the Heikomundo arc, you had Ichigo and all of them in Heikomundo.
It's Haramundo.
It's Waco Mundo.
Waco Mundo. It's been forever since I've seen this. That's why I'm getting them wrong. But anyway, and then they go to this new third captain arc, and all of a sudden it's supposed to be taking place during the same time. And somehow Ichigo and Rukia and everybody are in that place while they're supposed to be in Waco Mundo trying to fight Aizen and get Orihime back. But apparently they're also supposed to defeat this third captain because somehow they opened some kind of damn portal.
The time.
Okay, so yeah, that sounds like way worse filler than Naruto.
But yeah, well, yeah, but it just kind of just dragged on and dragged on. But Naruto has more fucking thriller than Bleach, though.
It does, but it doesn't sound nearly as bad and nearly as dumb.
It's true. That's why I stopped reading it. Both of them. Stopped watching them. I started reading them. And it's just, oh god, it's just, I go to work and, oh, have you read the latest issue and stuff? Including my roommate. Oh my god. I was like this, I'll read it, but you just make it sound too out of place, which I'll read it and I'll be like, oh, he dies. Well, good. Finally. I'm disappointed. Fuck. But yeah, it's not bad. It's just, I prefer you guys to go read the manga and don't watch the anime, like some people.
Hey, man, I love the anime. I just don't care that much for the filler. Although some filler, though, in Naruto is actually pretty good.
I don't know which one particularly. It's been a while since I've watched it. But
I think probably, like, one of the best fillers was when after they take down the three-tailed beast. And it goes straight into, like, that flashback to when, like, Kakashi and his group were, like, young and everything, and when he was a friggin' asshole. That was probably, like, the best 3 or 4 episode filler I've seen in a long time for at least a shonen-type show.
where have you been? Kakashi still is an asshole. You just don't see it.
Well, like, what do you call it? As in, like, a total jerkwad ass.
Yeah, that's true. I'm still trying to figure out how Ren saved them in the manga. It's just kind of mind-fucking me right now.
Man, no spoilers.
Spoiler alert! But yeah, I'm gonna leave it off that. That was Naruto, people. Yeah, go read it. You next, troll. 2.
Okay, my number 9 is Full Metal Alchemist.
What?
I'm not. I want to say it's more of just the show in general, but that doesn't mean I didn't like the show. I actually really enjoyed Brotherhood over the actual original show. So I mean, but it is really overrated because a lot of people, as the original was coming out or Brotherhood was coming out, I was like, oh, this is the best anime ever. It's on Toonami. It's so great. Yada yada. Vic Mignogna is so awesome. I mean, it's a good show. I mean, it's worth watching. but it's it's your atypical overrated show. I mean, let's put it this way: when Fullmetal Alchemist is cosplayed as much as it is, it's definitely overrated. I
Well,
mean,
and it's just
I
one
still see,
character too.
yeah, I still see people have this anime as like their number one anime of all time. I'm like, there's no way because
Yeah, man, you cut out.
the show is way overrated.
Okay.
The show is like it's super overrated because of just various amounts of reasons. But yeah, my number 9, Fullmetal Alchemist, just in general. Now on to next one.
So anyway, my number 9 is Clannad, and once again, like Madoka,
Better than
great.
Twilight.
Like Madoka, it is a great show that I would recommend watching. However, it is not the greatest show Kyoto Animation has ever released, and is not the greatest show or greatest visual novel that Key has produced that's become an anime. Canon was. Just so many people consider this to be great when it's pretty much second place. So my number 9, a show that I still recommend watching, is Clannad.
That's some depressing shit.
And with my number 9 is also Fullmetal Alchemist. So I don't think there's really too much that needs to be said about it, other than the fact that from what from what Pervy said, I mean, there's nothing else that I need to talk about. Like he pretty much explained it. Anyway, my number 9, Fullmetal Alchemist, and on to Nui's number 8.
Oh shit. Sorry. Yeah, as much as it pains me to do this, Gundam Wing. Gundam Wing. Like, another show that Tsunami bolster, but not that bad, thank God. Like another one I will get to after this. it was a good Gundam series. I'm sorry, I'm hearing myself. Okay.
As I was gonna say, well then don't talk too loud, because then then your voice will echo.
Yes. Like I said, it's a good Gundam series I have watched. And like you pointed out earlier, well, not earlier, but when we were talking before this started, a lot of, gay shit was involved. If nobody didn't saw that one episode with Catra and Trotter playing the instruments, that was like the biggest fucking hint.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
That was just like, oh, Jesus. And don't get me started how many dojins of that there is.
That is true.
I am very horrified because of that. I'm just gonna end this quickly because I can't just glorify anymore. Sorry. Next.
Okie dokie. My number 8, the show that seemingly everybody loves, and thanks to Aniplex, is it's Bakemonogatari. Bakemonogatari.
Oh, the Monogatari series.
Bakemonogatari in general. I don't see what the hype is behind this show. Why is it so popular? What makes it so good? I mean, it's overrated because people talk it up again like it's the best thing since sliced bread. I don't get it. Like, I get it. I guess it's a Shaft show. I'm guessing, if I remember.
Yeah, like it's done by Shaft.
So I mean, I still don't get it. It's Shaft. It's got good art, but it doesn't seem like the story is anything special. It blows my mind how this got so popular because it's just one of those many Shaft anime it's one of the many anime in general that doesn't need to be this popular popular. There's a lot of other anime that deserve to be actually popular, more popular than this.
Well, the one thing that I can get over with it is that how much they talk. Jeez, man. I mean, like, what do you call it? I thought like the people talked a lot in Dempa Ona. No. Man,
That's that's one of the things is that they jabber on in a lot of the series. So
and they talk like they're or like not in rhymes, but like it's kind of like I don't know how to put it. It's really weird how they talk. It's extremely weird. It's almost kind of like a poem in a way, sort of, or something along the lines of that. I think.
But yeah, my number 8, Bakemonogatari.
So, my number 8 is Death Note. And this was overhyped at its time. It's kind of overrated at its time. It's kind of died down. But just, I seriously don't see what makes this one of those greatest shows ever. I mean, it's...
Well, did you watch all of it?
Yes.
Okay.
And I actually preferred the second half better. I'm one of the few people who will say that.
I'm not gonna lie, I did like the second half better too. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, man, I like the second half better.
Hate to interrupt real quick, but right now we're doing this podcast live and all, but it is pouring like cats and dogs outside.
I'll be back. I'm gonna check this out.
But yeah, I agree with you there. It is, at the time it was an overrated anime, but now it's really not. It's a pretty good starter anime if anyone wants to get into anime. I can agree to that.
Yeah, I would agree, man. I really like the show.
So number 8 for me is Death Note and On to Zombie.
Okay, and ironically, number 8 for me, also Nui, is Gundam Wing.
I'm not listening.
Yeah, pretty much nothing. I mean, nothing really needs to be said more about this. I mean, all you need is the trumpet part and all that, and that explains Gundam Wing, pretty much. Well, no, not really, but everyone really loves it a lot. And they're like, "Oh yeah, man, show is so awesome." And in reality, like, it's still a decent to good show, but I think mainly people why I think it's overrated is because it got put on Toonami. That was like their first main mecha show that they had seen, and they're like, "Dude, this is awesome."
Yeah, I'm kind of in that neighborhood too, to where that was actually my first mecha show I ever saw was Gundam Wing. And that's kind of what brought me into the Gundam universe. Because now that I know that there's two separate freaking Gundam universes, AU and whatever the first one is.
There is more, sir.
Yeah,
More.
there's a whole bunch.
I can name them off for you if you want me to.
No, thank you.
What?
Oh, I was to say, go on. I don't care.
Oh, you got Universal Century, After Colony, After War, Cosmic Century, Honorable Donald, that's us. Current Century, Turning Gundam.
Nerd.
Oh, and Advanced Generation.
And like Advanced Generation, the one with Gundam Victory or something.
Gundam Age. Gundam Victory is Universal Century.
Oh, okay. It is EC?
Yep.
Alright.
Gundam Victory is okay. Or not Age, but or no, yeah, Victory. Anyway, my bad. Sorry about that. I had a complete brain fart. But yeah, that's my number 8, Gundam Wing. Pretty much Nui had explained it before, and onto Nui's number 7.
Oh, get ready, you suckers. This one was the baller for Toonami to wreck this. Greatest number 1 action show ever in the world. Dragon Ball Z. And then to say... Yes, serious.
Wow, really? Dude.
That's how it was.
Dude, we're on like the same wavelength. That's also my number 7.
Same.
Oh, wait for the sequel next time when we get around. But yes, they fucking did that. They just said, "Oh, this is the greatest show. Come and watch it." You know what? As all of us are suckers back then, we did watch it. It was a good show, but you know what? If it's the greatest action show, don't have a guy powering up for 7 episodes, yelling out of his fucking teeth. God damn.
And don't remake it 7 times and release 7,000 games.
Actually, me and Herbie's Fat Man like the games.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
Well, the games are good. It's just there's too many of them.
If you really want to play a Dragon Ball Z game, you always go with like Budokai.
Yeah.
Budokai are,
You
like,
always
the
go
best
with
games.
Tenkaichi.
Yeah, Budokai Tenkaichi is a really good one.
It's ultimate. But yeah, that was my number 7, Dragon Ball Z.
So yeah, my number 7, Dragon Ball Z. I mean, Nui said a lot about it, and I agree. It shouldn't take 20 freaking episodes for someone to power up to beat the final boss of a series.
Someone throws a punch.
Yeah, pretty much. I can understand why it's overrated because it was aired on Toonami back in the prime Toonami generation, the good Toonami generation, and it was probably the first action show that a lot of people saw. So, and even to like this day, there's still people that love Dragon Ball Z and still call it one of their favorite animes of all time. It's overrated still, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, and there's the varied reasons why. I mean, even now, I mean, you could go talk to like the long-running anime fan out there. They'll say DBZ over Kai or whatever. So, and that's the big thing there, is that Dragon Ball Z has held this area of anime fandom for the longest time, even though it's still kind of an overrated anime. Not saying it wasn't good, but it's still overrated. And I mean, it always causes a lot of hype. If you like watch the internet when they announce like a new DBZ game, there's always everybody comes out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, this is the best Dragon Ball Z game ever. It's gonna come out. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be like the best thing ever. It's got like all these characters." That's why it's still one of the top 10 overrated animes.
For now.
So, unlike all of you, I'm going with something different for my number 7.
Oh man, this guy got to be different.
Exactly.
My number 7, once again, a good series that, well, you probably have all seen it, so I don't need to recommend it. But it became pretty much the staple of Kyoto Animation since its release. And number 7 is K-On!
Kill.
Cam?
Nico, 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 Nico.
Wrong series.
Yeah,
I still
wrong
had to do
series.
it.
But this is a good series. It's just, it's not the best. There are better series out there from Kyoto Animation, and pretty much it shouldn't be as popular as it is, though it should still be popular, is pretty much what I'm trying to say for this. So number 7 for me is K-On!
And for my number 7, just like Purvy's and Nui's, is Dragon Ball Z. I don't know, man. We're on the same wavelength this episode. Nothing more needs to be said about it, guys. That's my number 7. I'm sorry, guys. Mine are so short, but everyone, apparently we're on the same wavelength. Anyway, my number 7 is Dragon Ball Z, and on to Nui's number 6.
Well, my number 6 is the sequel to Dragon Ball Z, which happens to be non-canon, by the way. Dragon Ball GT. More fighting, more power-up, and more characters. God damn.
And more of beating the series with a stick.
Pretty much what it was. The only thing that was so good out of it, which was the Shadow Dragons. When Omega Shenron. That was the only thing good.
I don't know. I thought Super Android 17 was pretty good.
Fuck that battle. That was horrible. Oh god. Fucking.
I'm sorry, guys, man. I stopped after the tournament. I stopped
Yeah.
after the tournament because I thought the tournament was terrible.
Please, yeah, I know. But yeah, dude, I watched first episode, and really, there's just happens to be Black Star Dragon Balls in the fucking Kami's Lookout, and nobody knew about it, and nobody knew how they got there and be created, which was like, really? That makes no fucking sense.
So
Yes.
yeah, so the creator was like, you know what? Let's just make up some bullshit excuse and have them hidden in the back of the closet
Yeah, pretty
inside of the
much.
fucking shoebox.
And everybody's like, yeah, let's watch it, even though there's no explanation to this shit. It didn't get overly hyped like fucking Z, but it was pretty much well known. Because I would go to school, it's like, hey, you want to play Dragon Ball GT? I was like, what, is that a video game? No, they're fucking cards. I was like, I didn't know you can play them.
Man, I think everything was made into cards around that time.
Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh!
Wasn't there like a Yu Yu Hakusho trading card game also?
Yeah, I remember that.
Duel Masters. Digimon.
Hey, no, like Duel Masters was friggin' badass, dude. I love Duel Masters.
They all copied off Pokemon to begin with, so.
I was just saying cards. I was saying overrated shit.
But do you remember the Gundam War trading card game?
Shit.
I bet y'all don't remember that shit.
I fucking forgot about that shit.
Yeah, no, that's some old stuff.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that'll be yeah. Dragon Ball GT people. Goddamn. Skip to the end.
And so my number 6 is one that I really thought was it's got a lot of hype, but it also got a lot of hate. Seiken no Quasar.
Boo.
I understand why this show got a lot of the hype that it got, and it was majority because of, hey, I have to suck on a breast in order to get my power. I have to drink your milk.
Such a good show.
I drink your milkshake.
That sounds so good right now.
I mean, to be brutally honest here, that's kind of what it is that's why it made it overrated. That's why so many people did like it, is because of that specific reason. I mean, it's not the story. Though I like the art of it. The story wasn't all there. I mean, I'm not saying don't watch it. Just watch it at a discretion. And whether you like it or you don't, I mean, that's kind of why this made my overrated, because it is generally overrated, and for one reason only, and that's because of the breast sucking, and that's about it. So, number 6, Seiken no Quasar.
Alright, so my number 6 is, when you hear the name Vic Mignogna, you'll automatically think of this. It's Full Metal Alchemist. What can really be said about this show that hasn't been said by Pervy?
Shit.
Well, I don't think the show is shit. I think it's
No,
a decent show.
it was good, but it is not top tier quality. It's not the greatest show ever made. It didn't revolutionize anime. It was just another anime. Not a lot of things stand out about this. So that's why number 6 for me is Full Metal Alchemist.
And for my number 6 is actually, oh man, I can feel the hate coming right here.
Oh, what's going on?
What do you call it? My number 6 most overrated is Gintama.
Hate that show.
Yeah, so do I.
It's a poor man's skit dance.
I don't I don't want to hate on this too hard, but at the same time, I don't think this show is funny. I don't. I think it's dumb. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't understand how a show cannot be this funny. I mean, I thought Popotan was a really bad show, but at least it's groanable puns and stuff, and that was more enjoyable than watching this. But the fact that how many people can like this show is absolutely unreal. Anyway, that's my little rant, and that's probably like one of my most not like shows. Anyway, that was my number 6, and on to Newey's number 5, the top 5.
Yes, the top 5. Will this one count? Transformers? Armada? I mean, it originated from Japan, for crying out loud.
Yeah, it's true. If we're not for sure, then think of something else real quick.
Let's ask Judge Mills Lane. I'll allow it.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Okay. Number 5, Transformers Armada. And I grew up watching Transformers thanks to my fucking brothers. I actually liked it. So then I'm like, okay, I heard this new Transformers series. Thank you, Toonami. Which is pretty much most this list. But yeah, I watch it, and when you get halfway through, you're gonna start realizing like, fuck. This shit doesn't make any sense. This should have ended here, and then this. Yeah, it's just like, okay, then. And you got the Toonami hype shit. Which is like, what is it? It keeps showing the fucking toys and shit. Like, right after Toonami ends, then the fucking toy commercial will show up. Every time it's aired.
Well, let's admit it, man. Like, Transformers is a, you could say a toy-driven show.
Yeah, it's
man, just like how Gundam is.
Well, they do model kits. It's better that way.
Well, same premise at least. It's meant to sell a product.
But yeah, so yeah, it kind of got hyped because that's all I fucking heard about. And was it? I can't fucking remember what grade I was in. I don't know if I was in 4th, 5th, or 6th. I can't remember.
I was gonna say, I think Armada came out when I was in like 6th grade, I think.
So I was in like 4th grade.
Yeah, because it came out in like early 2000s, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it came out in like 2000 and like 2 or 3, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh no, actually, really, I was about to go into the 7th grade. My bad. Anyway, go on.
But yeah, it was being over. Like you said, it's toy driven, which fucking hypes the living hell out of it. Please buy our product. It's all I heard. Hey, you're gonna get the latest toy. I'm gonna get the Optimus. Hey, don't forget the new episode because it's gonna be awesome. Which I watch it. I admit it. I have bought maybe a couple toys. Then after I finished the series, I personally threw those toys away because I was like, I'm done. I like the show, but it's just it burnt out on me. It burnt so bad. I'm pretty sure you got some shows that did that to you.
I'm not for sure. Okay, on to you, Pervy.
Okay, my number 5 is. I can definitely feel the hate coming from this one because I know there's a lot of people out there that like the show. It's Fate Stay Night.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
there's a reason why I say the show is overrated, and it's super overrated in a sense because every time I hear the Fate Stay Night, Fate Zero, it's like, well, Fate Stay Night in general, I should say, just not Fate Zero, but Fate Stay Night. It's like, oh, Fate Stay Night is so great. Every single character in here is awesome. It's the best anime of all time. You know, it's even the visual novel is good, which is bullshit because that visual novel is boring.
It's every visual novel.
I thought it was an eroge.
It's a
Yeah.
visual novel that has sex scenes in it, but it's labeled as visual novel. But this,
Most visual novels now have eroge scenes in it.
yeah, but
Okay, well,
Ever
like,
since
if
canon
me,
came out in 1999.
okay,
yeah, the Fate Stay Night. It's if the visual novel is anything like the anime. If the anime is anything like the visual novel, it's just a super boring show. I mean, I mean, there's people out there to watch it. I'm not saying don't watch it again, but go ahead and give it a shot if you're interested in it. But it's I don't get the idea behind it. I mean,
I do.
it's that overrated, and it baffles me that this many people liked this boring of a show. So my number 5, Fate Stay Night.
I recommend it.
So for me, the top 5, and now thank God this one's kind of dying down. But for the longest time, you would go to a convention and you would turn around and there'd be somebody cosplaying this anime. Number 5 to me is Hitalia. If I wanted to see countries fight, I would go back and rewatch Girls in Panzer every single day.
We go play Civilization.
Or play Civilization, which I've been getting back into. But it wasn't bad. It was a decent show, but it wasn't sliced bread. It was a 5-minute show about just characters that are stereotypes of their retrospective country hanging out. There are better 5-minute shows to watch. I laughed more at Popa than at Italia. But point being, this was not that. It wasn't the greatest anime, and it was just overhyped, and the fandom just wore it out. So number 5, Italia.
and for my number 5, as it's already been said by Nui and I believe Pervy, is my number 5 is Naruto.
Oh no, I haven't said anything about Naruto yet.
Okay, pretty much and the main reason why it's overrated is because of the fan base itself. Not saying that the show isn't good, because I think the show's good, but the fan base behind it, oh my gosh, they were so eccentric and everything like that it's that I'm sorry, but it's childish. I'm not saying that you can't act like that, at times and stuff, but that's mainly the main reason why I think it's overrated, is mainly because it's fan base. Because I think the show is actually fairly good, despite its filler and all that stuff. Not to mention it got put on Toonami, and everyone's like, yeah, man, this is like a mega huge hit in Japan, so it's gonna be popular here, and which it turned out to be.
Believe it.
Believe it. And so, but yeah, anyway, that's my number 5. Once again, Naruto. It's not a bad show. It's actually a pretty good show. Just the fan base and stuff behind it like that just made it overrated. And on to Nui's number 4.
My number 4 is also another toy-driven show, which is the worst one out of the fucking series, Zoid Fusers. Oh my god, it's just the same thing, but on a much worse scale.
You act like most shows like that aren't like toy driven. I mean, Zoids was ridiculously toy driven. I remember owning the Liger Zero, like the one Liger Zero that would move on its own and its changeable armors and shit.
Speaking of Zoids, I was just looking through the pre-owned section, Ami, and they had a figure for it.
Looks like we're on Zoids.
Hey man, now Zoids was good, but Fusers was muck crap. I'm sorry.
Yes, it was just total shit, in my opinion. But yeah, just like Transformers in general, it was just toy-driven base and the same downfall all over again. But when it came out, Transformers disappeared. It disappeared at that point, and it was just Zoids. Much longer than fucking Transformers, which was like, can we just talk about something else? Can we talk about girls, something? I don't know. Hentai?
Let's talk about some ecchi fan service that the Western fan base doesn't like.
Yeah. Not much I can say about Zoid Fusers, but yeah. I like the first two. Everything else can go to hell at that point. But yeah. Number 4, Zoid Fusers.
Alright, well, if you hated me for number 5, you're gonna hate me even more for number 4.
Oh god.
And number 4 is Gundam in general. Just everything about Gundam. I'm not gonna lie, it's every series of Gundam has been pretty much a toy commercial. One big toy commercial, but I mean it's Gundam in general though that causes itself to be overhyped, or overrated, I should say, because a lot of the different Gundam shows, sure they have a really good story, sure they have really cool characters, but I don't know how to put it exactly as to why it's overrated, but the fans of the show are the same fans that have seen every single Gundam series alive, and even have read up on stuff that isn't actually in anime form or in manga form. And that's why it's kind of overrated, because every time you hear something about Gundam, there's like, it's that same thing again. It's like, oh, this is gonna be the best Gundam show ever. This is gonna blow all this out of the water. Tomino's the best person ever. But I mean, and I can't really explain it much better than that. I mean, that's kind of, in a sense, why Gundam is like definitely an overrated show, because just the fan base that sticks with the show just hypes it up way too much. I'm actually legitimately surprised that we have not seen another Gundam show on Toonami as of yet. So I don't want to jinx it, but hey, you never know. We might get Unicorn on there. Who knows?
I doubt it.
But yeah, my number 4 is just Gundam, all of Gundam in general.
So my number 4, just like with the show, I can't find what I'm looking for. I can't find a reason why One Piece is this super omega great anime that topples everybody else, and if you don't like this, you should burn in otaku hell because you're a faggot.
Of course I am.
But this is just 700 and who knows how long episodes of Pirates.
It's actually more than that now.
Well, that's why I said plus.
About 900 plus now, actually.
Oh, well.
Holy fuck.
And you never know when it's going to end.
And about 15 different movies or so also.
But why should we stick around for what will someday inevitably be 1,000 episodes of the water adventures of the stretchy guy?
Well, you know they're never going to find the One Piece, because if they do, that'll end the series completely. At this point, as bad as this sounds, the author will die before this show actually ends.
Well, no, the series is going to end with Somali pirates just taking over everything.
I do One
My
Piece.
ship now.
I do One Piece.
This is my ship now.
You listen to me. So, so number 4, the stretched out series One Piece.
And ironically, my number 4 is One Piece also, and nothing needs more to be said about it. So that's my number 4, One Piece.
You mean you don't want to? You mean you don't want to stretch out on it?
No. What do you call it?
You gotta eat the devil fruit to stretch out your explanation.
Maybe that's what you need to eat to understand the show.
Oh yeah, you can make devil fruit. All you gotta do is just line it with cocaine.
Is this laced with cocaine? It might be laced with cocaine.
Make it grape flavored, and we tell you it might be laced with cocaine.
Yeah, people like grapes. What can you expect?
Man, this is good. Yeah, man, guys, there's a story behind that. If we hadn't already told you on here already. But anyway, guys, that's my number 4 is One Piece. On to news number 3.
My number 3 is, oh god, it's gonna be hard to pronounce. Bobo bo 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 bo.
Bo 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 bo.
So the guy with the long nose hairs.
Yes.
I don't know how that's an
Fist of the
overrated
nose hair.
show. I don't know how that's an overrated show. That show is just bad.
It is bad, but
That's the show that One Piece should have been.
no offense, man, you'd be surprised. There is a secret fan base for this. It's not even funny. It's like those Church of Yamato fags. Yeah, I'm calling you out, you bastards. Go to hell.
You can follow him on Twitter at HaruhiNumi12.
Well, you gotta remember, I mean, those people aren't gonna die because Jesus Yamato won't die, so.
Yeah, you will.
Come at me, bro. I'm on the internet.
That's why there's no more fucking Cosmic Error episodes.
Fight me IRL.
Yeah, but yeah, dude, it's... Oh my god. Tanami bolstered. I swear, anything that gets on Tanami, like one of these shows, it's gonna get fucking hyped, and everybody's gonna, they watch it, and they're gonna like, yay!
Well, except for Neon Genesis Evangelion, because for some reason they can't understand a good show.
Yeah,
sorry, that show's too Japanese.
Well, fuck you too, you Western bastard.
It's not American enough. See?
Boo!
Here, you want some propane? Fucking bastards. Seriously.
Idols.
But, yeah, on to your explanation of Bobobo.
I mean, everybody's like, this is the greatest and all that. Same BS as usual. And, of course, I watch it. 6 episodes in, I'm like, yeah, I know. 6 episodes in, I give it up. Because it was utter bullshit, and the nose hair thing was just bullshit. Because who the fuck really fights like that?
Fist of the nose hair for you!
Yeah, I'm gonna get hate. I know I'm gonna get hate for that. But who cares? Oh no, I'm gonna get threatened messages. I'm gonna cut your head off.
Using my nose hair.
Yeah, something like that. I'm gonna stab you in the heart.
But, yeah, Bobobo, it tried to be like Rave Master, but to no success.
That's true. That is true. Ray Master was better.
Yeah, Rave Master was a fuck ton better.
Exactly. I advise you to watch that. Don't watch this because it's like pretty much the only way to watch it is take acid and a shroom and you'll be able to understand it completely. But yeah, that's it. That's my number 3. Bo 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 bo.
But Yeah, my number three. Give me a second. I get back to my list. My number three was actually Newey's number 10, Bleach. I mean, I can agree with the show on some points. There's some points where I was like, okay, this show's actually pretty good, or that was actually pretty cool. Kenpachi's a badass character,
Still is.
but this show has been running forever, and it's so boring now.
Well, actually, the final English dub episode has been recorded, and it's
Oh, thank God. And I know with the manga stopping and then finally getting to the end of the English dub, I gotta say it's about time because this show did not need to run this long. I mean, and there was the thing of we ran out of ideas, or we're getting too close to the manga like the Japanese, like we're getting too close to the manga, we're almost catching up to it. Let's stop and just make a whole filler, a side filler of like a group of episodes, nothing but filler. So we have time to actually let the manga go, so we can keep going with the regular show. And that's what it was with the Bount arc. That's what it was with the Captain arc. That's what it was with the Loose Bankai arc. And it was after that Bankai arc is when I stopped watching because I gave up on this show. And I'll admit, I might go back and finish it once it finally finishes out, but I don't know if I will because I took a peek at like 1 or 2 episodes on Toonami not too long ago. I don't know that I want to watch this anymore because it looks like it's gotten boring. And at this point, I've enjoyed the actual movies better than the show. The movies were actually a crap ton better than the actual show itself.
Well, to be honest, though, all you need to really go up to is episode, I think, 312, because that's where the author originally wanted to stop it in the manga, but then the company told him, no, you need to make this for another 10 years, and he decided, oh yeah, well, I'm going to make this shit. So it stopped selling, and they're like, okay, just end it whenever the hell you want.
And that was a bit back to why it's overrated. I mean, there's just this huge fan base out there that loves every single episode, every single chapter of Bleach. I don't get it. Why? Why is this still good to you? This should have, to be honest, it should have ended a while ago, but it did not. I don't agree with the people who like this show. Like, and I still see people who have it in like their top 5s or top 10s.
Well, to be honest, though, it did have some good parts in it. It was just, there was so much of it that was just bad.
I know there's like a good chunk of Bleach that was actually pretty good. The rest is, hey, I threw some coloreds in the washer, but I poured bleach on them by accident. That's kind of how the rest of the series has been so far. It's been nothing but, oops, I spilled bleach on something. But these fans make my head hurt sometimes because I see them cosplaying as people, and I mean, I don't mind if you cosplay as a Bleach character, but just know that your show's not the best thing since sliced bread, and just know that it's like extremely overrated show. And it's like Nui said, it's on Toonami. It's been bolstered by that amount of hype because a lot of the younger kids in this newer generation don't know what good anime is yet. But yeah, that's my number 3, Bleach.
All right, so for my number 3, I want you to picture this. Just close your eyes and picture this. They released this game.
Hot yogurt.
And then...
just suck it out of the hose.
And then they release a remake on the new portable system.
Oh,
and then they make an anime for it. And then they release a fighting game. And then they release a Q version. And a dancing version.
And
then they make an anime for the remake of the game.
And then a sequel to the fighting game.
And then a sequel to the fighting game. And then it gets picked up by Aniplex. So, my number 3, if you haven't figured it out already, is Persona 4. This series just needs to die so we can finally get Persona 5 the attention it deserves. Now, I will admit, Persona 4, the game, had elements of it that was better than number 3. But this isn't a debate about 3 versus 4. The thing is, you have so many things that have 4 involved in it. 2 fighting games, 7 different spin-offs. The only spin-off I want to see for this now is a dungeon crawler where you're playing as either Rise or Yukiko trying to find the other, because that now they have a lesbian ship for this. Because I ship those two. That's the only one I want to see, is a Yuri game based around these two. That's the only thing. Then let it die, and let's get on to Persona 5 already. So number 3 is Persona 4.
Okay. And for my number 3 is, as Pervy had mentioned before, for his number 9 or 10, I think, or 8, which was the Monogatari series.
Number 8.
And I just, what do you call it? I tried watching this show and I got through like 6 episodes, and I was all like, dude, I can't take the show anymore. They talk for like a million miles an hour and nothing happens in this show, at least from what I saw. And and as I said before, they talk in like a rhyme or like poetry or some sort of weird form of talking that's really weird. And I just don't care for it that much at all. So that's my number 3. And
really quick though, what is with the egg in the hair?
I like eggs.
I don't know.
I have no clue.
Is it trying to symbolize that they don't know how to cook?
I don't know.
I have seen that toothbrushing scene too much.
I know. Shinobu getting her teeth brushed. Yeah, I know.
And and that's my number 3, and on to Newey's number 2.
Yeah, when this show came out, Tsunami not only boasted it, but there is like the biggest fangirl thing when it happened. I'll introduce you to you. Hamtaro. Oh my god. I wonder how many real hamsters sold that time when it came out.
Oh man, slow down, slow down.
I swear to God, it's a okay show. I watched it, but it was okay because it was on Toonami. But man, that's all I pretty much heard the chicks talk about. Hamsters, 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 hamsters. I know what exactly they're talking about. I'm like, Hamtaro? He's like, yes. I was like, oh God.
Sex makes babies? I'm sure you guys have seen that meme.
Yeah.
I love that meme. It's funny.
It's pretty self-explanatory. It's not a bad series, but when it came out, I never expect so many younger girls watching it. Oh my God.
One good way to get some puss. Oh,
Yeah.
Hamtaro? I watch Hamtaro too.
Yeah, it doesn't work anymore apparently. Only in the early 2000s. But yeah, that's my number 2. Fuck that. Hamtaro.
Okay,
I think I know what your number 2 is, Pervy.
getting right down to it, my number 2. It's a series that was bolstered by Toonami, yet again.
Oh, I know what it is.
It's a series that I consider to be the demon spawn. Well, I should say the spawn of Dot Hack. It's
Yep, here it is.
Sword Art Online.
Fuck you.
Oh, look,
Fuck
man,
you
we're
for
in the
what you
same
stand
way.
for.
But yeah, I don't get this show. I don't. I actually, not gonna lie, I sat down and watched an episode or so on Toonami when it was out on Toonami. I didn't like it. I don't see the hype behind the show. Why? Can someone explain to me why it's this? Why everyone thinks that this show is like the greatest thing since the greatest thing since what like an old, really good old anime.
Dot
You know,
hack.
No, like it's how to put it. It's like the greatest thing since Sailor Moon or something like that. Just kind of a reference like that. Like that's what a lot of this fandom for the show thinks, is that this show should be the number one overall show in every single person's category. You know, and I've been around a lot of these people that think, oh, Sword Art's so good. It's number one show of all time. It blows everything out of the water. Every single show that I've ever seen sucks compared to Sword Art. All the characters in the show are the best thing ever. They blow everything out of the water. I don't. Why? I get it. Okay, the guy who did this show, Sword Art, had another show called Excel World. Okay?
Yeah.
Excel World is about 10 times what Sword Art wishes it could be. Because, to me, Sword Art is just a dot hack knockoff. It really is.
Every show is a dot hack knockoff. Where have you been?
That's all Sword Art is to me. It's a dot hack knockoff that I don't want to watch, despite seeing an episode of it. It's like dot hack in that sense, to where I actually watched the full show of dot hack, but I've only seen an episode of Sword Art. I'm not sure what episode. It's probably later in the series at some point. I don't know when. But yeah, I don't get the fandom of the show. And until then, they can give me a legitimate reason as to why this show is the number one show in their hearts, mind, soul, whatever have you, it's going to be the second overrated anime on my list.
Okay.
So,
Alright, Nui. Or not Nui, but yeah, Otaku.
So, number 2 for me. I've installed this new console, and I lay down in my bed, and I start my link. And if I die in the game, I die in real life.
You.
And thank you, Pervy, for giving me something to talk about, leaving me something to talk about. But number 2 for me, shit-ass online.
I'm surrounded by haters.
Well, I wouldn't be hating if it was actually worth the great hype that it came with. Now, tell me when the main character goes from being this undefeatable badass to meeting this girl and all of a sudden becoming, I'm by myself, I just pissed my pants. I'm scared without Asuna. My heart, I'm gonna make it defeated. Gah!
I would too if there's no blondes in this world.
Asuna!
I can't do anything. Even though I've beta tested this game and I got to floor 8, even though I'm supposedly the greatest player, I can't do anything without my love, Asuna.
Oh man.
You have to admit, man, that part is true.
No.
Or at least the crying of him.
Seriously, the only time this guy has a legitimate reason to cry his ass off is when Sachi dies, because that was legitimately sad. Besides for that, when Asuna's away, just grow some fucking balls and fight to survive, you stupid little shit. Haru makes a better character than you, because he at least has balls when Kuro Yukihime is away.
And he's half his size.
And fatter. And season 2, he turns into a girl because they wanted to show the pussy that he actually is.
But
Oh no, that's sharp. Yeah, man, that shot's being fired.
Okay, man, that's a shot. That's a shot.
So number 2, Sword Art Online.
And on to my number 2. It's like we're all on the same wavelength. I'm a Sword Art.
ladies and gentlemen, Louis has left the building.
So it looks like the three of us are going to continue.
What do you call it? Well, I've watched the entire show, and I'm sure you have too. I'm a Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Did I think the show was bad? No, I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was, as the title says, overrated. I actually preferred the second half of the show. I did, and I think that's mainly because I have a thing for like elf women and stuff. But that's just my own personal thing. But
yeah, to clarify though, it was decent. It wasn't the greatest anime out there.
yeah, like I think it's a fairly decent show. Like it's still watchable. But yeah, I was just amazed at how big this show got, and I was all like, "This is absurd!" How many people think that this show is like one of the greatest things since like sliced bread. But I thought it was a decent show. And it's at my number 2. And I think we all have the same number 1. But Nui, are you there?
I'm
Really,
back
man?
now.
Okay, so that was my number 2 was Sword Art, and on to Nui's number 1.
I have said this in a previous episode. Shittiest season ever, but it also was hyped beyond belief because fucking everybody loved the first one, which I love the first season of Infinite Stratos. Infinite Stratos 2 got boasted up to God beyond belief, and when I went to go watch it, what the fuck? Disappointment.
Filler!
Pretty much what it was. Disappointment. Disappointment. And more idiotic Ichika.
He is like one of the worst. I would say in the top 3 of like worst adult anime characters ever.
I'm putting this way. He's there with Shinji right now. He's taking positions. They're taking positions. I don't know who's gonna top who. Oh my god, he's just fucking horrible. Seriously, all those girls. If it was me, I would have secretly got with all of them and got away with it. Well, maybe not got away with it, but we all know how far we can get. Particularly the blondes.
You and blondes, man.
I love France. I love British.
I can agree with you there. I'm a Charlotte guy myself, but I also like Laura.
I don't know why, man, but in that show I like what's her name, like Hoka?
Hoki.
Hoki. Dude, man, I love me some tsundere girls, and the childhood friend, dude. Ichiko, you fucking idiot, dude, get all up in those.
Your boobs are touching me.
I swear.
I'll be happy. I'll be very happy. I'll be like this. If you touch me with your boobs on my back, I'll be able to tell how big and how much they weigh.
You're like, yeah, man, about 8 pounds apiece.
They must be almost B cups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that your number 1?
Yeah, that's my number 1. I want to hear all your number 1s, so I can take a cigarette break.
I think we all know what our number 1s are.
But
And there's gonna be so many fucking people that are gonna hate us.
Let's just go one by one, though.
I
So
know.
we can at least all have something to talk about, hopefully.
Go for
Alright.
it.
I don't know what your guys' number 1 is, but my number 1, it's the One Piece to rule them all. One Piece. And I don't understand the fandom of this show. You guys have been there since episode 1, and now you're about almost 1,000 episodes into the show, with one season, mind you, one whole season of filler, plus 15 or plus movies that go along with the show. I don't get this. I don't get why the show. I don't get why people like the show. I don't. And I mean that with like a whole sense of why, because it's just, oh, Luffy's an awesome character. He's gathering up all these people to go search for the One Piece that he'll never find, because if they do, the show will be over. And it's like I said before, I know it sounds bad, but the author will die before the show ends. It'll be like freaking Shin-Chan.
And
in
then
that
his son
sense.
will take over, and then he'll die before he finishes it.
Yeah,
We pass down the lines.
let's put it this way. I expect One Piece to run all the way until I die, and that's a long time from now. That's about what?
Tomorrow.
Uh, what am I? 23. So like
Tomorrow.
another what? Like
Tomorrow.
another 70 years. 70 or so years.
Fucking
if that-
93 years old, man. I'm gonna be pimping it out, man, watching some ecchi anime. He's gonna
I mean,
he's gonna be in like the hospital bed, man, with his doggy mockers. He's gonna be laughing at Zach. He's gonna be like, "Fuck you."
no, I'll be laughing at Zach's ugly ass children. Well, his children's children, because that gene pool is so shallow. It's like if Shinji banged Ray. That's how shallow that gene pool is.
And his family of Clydesdales.
Yeah, his kids will become like the Budweiser horses.
Are you kidding? They won't be ugly enough to make that commercial unless they get passed around too.
But yeah, anyway, my number One Piece. Again, I don't understand why so many people like this almost 1,000+ episode show with 15+ movies. I think the only good thing I've heard out of the show is that it got a crossover with Toriko, and it's a damn shame that Toriko's not running as long as this. Because from what I've seen of Toriko deserves to run as long as this show does.
So anyway, my number one, and Zombie knows this quote well. I don't care what Japan thinks, this is a masterpiece.
Yeah, man, it's my number one too.
Number one is Cowboy Bebop, the standard bearer for anime.
Oh.
And the Western fan base is dick. Now, seriously, this show is the definition of overrated. You look at the Western fan base and they're just like, this is the greatest show ever. What? You don't like it? Burn in hell, otaku. Well, over in Japan, Cowboy Bebop? It was alright. Pretty much, if the Western fan base were to actually meet the Japanese, there would be a war that once again the Americans would start. There is no reason for this show to be considered the greatest anime of all time. I get it. I know, I get it. You think it's good, but then again, you're American. Anime's not made for you. It's made for the people over in Japan. We are just lucky enough that companies have decided to grace us with this luxury. But there is nothing that makes this show over the top. It's a standard anime that's decent to good at best, that people will still be talking about for years to come, while over in Japan, they've come up with the next best thing.
Why is
for
an
the
anime
30th
like this?
time.
What do we have to have ecchi and fan service in our anime? Because it was made for a Japanese audience, maybe?
But
And
actually,
the Japanese
no,
don't give two fucks?
in 30 years, we'll be forgetting about Cowboy Bebop because the next greatest Western fan thing, Space Dandy, will come along.
Hey now. Hey now.
I'm not saying Space Dandy's bad. I'm saying, though, it's going to get overhyped like Cowboy Bebop, and people in 30 years are going to be saying that it's the greatest thing.
Well, where it's at right now, I'm not too sure on Space Dandy, but I think I'll like kind of decide that when Space Dandy ends this season. So
Well, apparently, it's being regarded as some of the best anime according to ANN.
Everybody should stop watching this and go watch the greatest thing while you still have the chance, because you're never going to see anything this great again. So anyway, number one for me, overhype the Western anime Cowboy Bebop.
And number one for me is Cowboy Bebop as well. Need I say more? I just want to give just a quick shout out to the guy working up at Toonami that thought I was trolling him when I said that when I had said that I disagreed with him about the show being number one, except that Japan didn't care for it that much. They thought it was okay, and I just want to say to that guy, thank you for the great conversation. Anyway, pretty much what Phoenix Otaku had said. Apparently it's the standard for anime, and I would disagree because I think you're giving someone like false accusation of what anime is, because like 95% of the shows that come from Japan are not like Cowboy Bebop because they're made for a Japanese audience, and this is just one of those time things that just so happened to be made. I believe, and I think it's really sad when someone is trying to get an anime, and someone's always like, "Oh, well, you need to watch Cowboy Bebop." No, dude, just stop. Stop comparing anime to Cowboy Bebop because it's not really. Okay, that's not really what comes from Japan. It just happened to be a show that was made there, and that's it. Because Japan don't give two shits about the show anymore. They probably still think that like half the world are idiots for liking the show as much as they do. So anyway, my number one is Cowboy Bebop.
So that was our top 10 most disappointing anime. And with that, it is time for our first break. Stay tuned, as when we come back in 5 to 7 minutes, we will be talking about Japan's new enforcement of their piracy laws and breaking news, including JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So
We
stay
have we have
tuned.
we have a bit of breaking news too for the Japanese government stuff. So stay tuned and hear that once we come back.
All right.
Okay, is everybody back?
I am back.
Nui, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Can't believe this shit.
Alright, so normally we would go into breaking, and go into news, but this actually does kind of relate to it. Welcome back to the MSDF LiveCast, and we are all a bit shaken up right now. It was announced this week that Japan is buffing up its fight against anime piracy, and today the war has pretty much come to an end and the Japanese government has won. Neon Torrents has been purchased by the Japanese government.
Well, we think. Well, we think this, right? We're not for sure if it's real or not, but but it looks like that.
Well, and I'm
Sort
going
of.
to go to the...
Yeah, I'm not too sure myself neither because I know it was on that list of the Japanese piracy law thing, but I'm not too sure it's gonna. I haven't seen any. If there's like a person who's like an official, who's like the official like owner of Nia Torrents or whatever. I don't know who owns it or not. I have not seen them post anything.
But if so, this is pretty much the end.
Well, what do you call it? I think there's still going to be more sites anyway to come up. But I believe they had said that like they're going to take all these sites down, but they're still going to have like everything that you can get, kind of like with what like Crunchyroll has, to where you pay like 700 yen and you can get everything from like every season, to legally download and stuff and all that.
Well, it's going
Or
to start
something
with
like
the
that.
new. It's going to start with the newer stuff. They're going to have 220 of the newest titles, and gradually increase that.
And if they do, then I hope they're subbed. Because I'm not going to try and learn Japanese.
Jesus.
So
Yeah, this
I'm
is...
on that site right
But which
now,
I'm sure probably
and
will be subbed.
a lot of people are actually talking about this on here.
Right now,
Like I
as we're
said,
doing this.
I'm not.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm not
All right,
too
where's
sure.
It's in the comments at the chat box at the very bottom of it.
Like I said, we don't know if this is actually real as of yet. I actually don't. We actually don't know if it's the official person who runs Nia Torrents that actually announced that. So we have to. I guess we should kind of wait a little bit before we see what happens. But
right?
if
But
this turns out to be true, then I don't know what to think. I mean, Japan's just being greedy, I suppose.
yeah, like free advertisements, free, man.
Well, here's my thing on it, and I mean, for series that are licensed over here in America, I have no problem with them trying to get all that stuff taken down because you can actually go out there and legally get it. But for stuff that's airing right now in Japan that we have no access to, this is bullshit.
I would agree with that.
And also, I could see them also getting pissed off about Blu-ray rips.
Yeah, that is true.
But
But still, though,
to
but like in a way, they said that like it's costing them like 5 point some odd billion in like U.S. And I was like, okay, well, think of it as advertising, and you guys spending 5 billion, but y'all make back an extra, like 10 to even more billion. So you're still making money, just not as much. But like I said, it's like advertising. When you advertise, you generally, usually, if you have good marketing, will, at least see a profit, a good profit, I would think.
but one thing is something like non. What they could do is, and I've been thinking about this a lot since I did my live cast, and I wasn't going to talk about this on my live cast because I didn't know everything yet. But what they could do is take like a Kami Ga Kill for an example, and once Sentai announces they have an official release for it, take or when it gets to like 2 weeks before the DVD comes out, take down everything after the first episode for this series and only allow the first episode to be on there so people can go and they can get it and preview it and see if they want to buy the series. And if they don't, it's just one episode. You're not losing that much money compared to them having the entire series. I mean, as long as you support the official release, I don't see a problem with this. But it's people that go out there and just download the series and never give a thought to buying it. That's the real problem.
I agree. Because what do you call it? I remember during, what was it, one of our panels? That someone had asked a question about like, well, don't y'all watch it on like Crunchyroll or something like that during like Phoenix Comic Con? And what do you call it? I was all like, no. What do you call it? I just torrent, because if it's something that I don't want to, or if it's something, or if it's a show that I don't want, then what do you call it? I just get rid of it early, and it doesn't really hurt anybody. And if it's a show that I like, I go out and I support it and I buy it. Easy as that. But then again, though, you are right. Some people just watch it and they'll be like, "Oh, look, I love it," and now guess what? I have the show, so I'm not gonna go out and go buy it. But I don't think it's all their fault, although they're a pretty big part of it, I think. Because what do you call it? I think a lot of a company's money and stuff comes in from their merchandising. Because I think with like discs and stuff and all that, only account for maybe like 15-20% of their actual like profit of like a show, and then the
Well,
rest comes from like merchandise almost.
the actual television airing of a show in Japan is actually just a giant advertisement for the products when it comes out.
Right, exactly, because it's pretty much, like, you could say that in a way about a lot of stuff. It's pretty much meant to sell merchandise.
And plus, it's actually been stated that the anime industry is now the second biggest industry in Japan.
Oh man, I don't doubt it. I think anime takes up, I think, what, like, close to almost like 50% of their actual like industry. I think
Mm-hmm.
of how the country, I think, like, makes money, or like it's like close to 50%. I know it's around in like the 40%. So it's a pretty big chunk. But it's still really sad if this is true.
I don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand why Japan felt the need to do this. They make enough money Because let's put it this way: sure, people torrent and it costs them money, but the thing is, it's those people that actually torrent. I know there's not a lot of them that go out and support like they should be supporting, and I agree that they really should get off their ass and go buy the anime that they've watched before. But I don't see why it was needed for them to go and take down the site. If anything, this is going to cost them more money because people aren't going to know what anime is coming out. They're not going to be able to watch most of the new stuff coming out unless, they do that site to where it's going to be 700 yen a month. And hopefully it's with subs, because if it's not with subs, then no one's going to do it, and that's just going to cost them even more money. And it's the fact that a lot of the places like Crunchyroll, Daisuke, just in general, that people who show like all the anime that's coming out of Japan, they need to pick up that slack and start showing everything that's coming out of Japan. Because if that doesn't happen, then Japan's going to be out not only a lot of money, but a lot of viewers, a lot of the viewer base, and it's going to ruin a whole good chunk of their economy because of that. If anime is that big right now over in Japan, then there's absolutely no reason that they need to, say, hey, we're gonna get rid of all these sites because you guys aren't doing it the right way.
Well, like Phoenix Tataki said, like it's pretty much like a giant advertisement, man, to help sell merchandise, and I don't see why they would cut off their own hand.
Well,
they're biting the hand that feeds, and that's gonna come. If this happens, it's gonna come back on them hard, and then they're gonna realize the error of their mistake.
And one thing is, you take a series like Ayura, like White Album, like Idolmaster, and you cut off America's way of watching this.
Well,
nobody has hold on. But I'm just saying, as like giving us as an example. Nobody has licensed these series. So if you take away our ability to actually watch these, what are we supposed to do? Nobody has these.
It's gonna be a big ass outcry.
And it's not only gonna hurt the Japanese anime business. It's gonna hurt the anime business over here too, because people like the anime companies like Funimation, Sentai, Aniplex, Discotech, they're gonna be picking up shows that nobody has ever heard of before because they haven't been able to see them because Japan decided to close down the sites to where people watch anime all the time, and they're biting the hand that feeds right now because that's just going to cost them so much more money, and I don't understand it.
I actually just thought of something. If Japan did buy non-torrents, could that possibly mean that non-torrents could become this legal site that Japan is talking about?
Maybe, but I doubt it. Because, like they said, man, they're going to try and like get rid of all these sites, either through telling them or trying to sue them or just buying them outright. Make an offer they can't refuse.
Well, if they buy them out, they could just flip it and try and turn it into a way to subscribe to it, because like Crunchyroll started off as a pirating company. All their anime was pirated at first, and then it became legal. Their site became actually something tied into the industry.
Now that's something I didn't know. I did not know that.
So the possibility for non-torrent to become this actual legal thing that the Japanese government owns, that is a possibility, especially if they buy out like these subgroups and just have them sub for them legally, and then we just pay a few dollars a month or so to be able to download these, and the money is still actually going to the industry. I just thought about that when looking through Crunchyroll and all that.
Right,
I
and
mean,
I completely agree with it. But the thing is that, like, when everything says that it's coming out in Japan, I want everything to be out and available.
exactly. It's gotta be like Crunchyroll in that matter, to where, you know, hey, this is coming out in a certain amount of hours. Stay here to watch it
Download it
first
or
as it's coming
whatever.
out. Yeah. Because if they don't do that, again, they're biting the hand that feeds, and that's going to cost them a crap ton of money, and that's not only going to hurt them, it's going to hurt us too. Because I know if I see, oh hey, Funimation's licensed this or Sentai's licensed this, but I don't know what these shows are, I'm not gonna buy them.
Going back to the age of like 2002 and 2003, man, to when internet was still on my like getting its groove on, or was starting to get its groove on.
So I don't. It's the only way I can actually put it is, they're biting the hand that feeds them, because they have to know that the American consumer, well, for us anime fans over here, that's gonna hurt them too, because a lot of people buy the same anime or buy the anime that they make, that they put out over in Japan. So we watch it as it's coming out of Japan. They're like, oh hey, I like this show. I'm glad this company licensed it. I'm gonna go buy it. But wait a minute, what happens if this company licenses a show, and because they took down so many of these different sites, hey, I can't watch this. I don't know what the show is. Can somebody tell me what it is? Oh, I don't know what it is either. I haven't seen it because my favorite anime site got taken down because of Japan.
I
And
mean, like,
so if that's the case, I'm not gonna waste $40 to $60 to buy it.
can you imagine? I'm a I'm a nut hearing about Kill a Kill, and then Aniplex all of a sudden says, "Hey, we got this new anime called Kill a Kill," and what do you call it? And to think of how much money they could have been making if they'd have shown it to us,
Well,
and how much money we could have been spending on merchandise, just like we did. But just imagine it if we didn't have that yet.
you'd pretty much have had to gone to AX and been to the trigger panel to know about Kill a Kill.
That or been had to been really searching around the internet. What had
Yeah,
to really have searched.
But only people that actually would take the time and subscribe to Crunchyroll like I actually did, because I figured why not, would know about just over half of these titles though. Unless you want to take the time to subscribe to Crunchyroll, Daisuki, Funimation, Hulu, all at the same time. That's pretty much the only way to get even 90% of all the anime that came out
yeah,
in
and
one
I
season.
mean that's the thing. Like as they're closing these things down, if in all honesty that actually happens, like I said before, Crunchyroll, Daisuke, Funimation, just all these places that are streaming anime, they need to step their game up and get all of these shows. They don't get all of these shows that are airing in Japan right now, they're gonna lose out big time. And I can tell you this much: there's gonna be an outcry of people just saying, you know what, you got Crunchyroll doesn't have this show I like. I'm gone. I'm getting rid of my Crunchyroll account. Funimation doesn't have this show I like. I'm going to go to Crunchyroll. It's just going to be this back and forth game between these providers who are showing the anime that's coming out of Japan, and no one's going to make any money off of it. It's going to stay at an even amount of $0 earned for each company.
And companies like Funimation, Sentai, and Aniplex, they won't license a certain show that you might like White Album, too, because they don't think it will sell well.
Well, not only that, you got to think too is that with the companies over here, Sentai, Funimation, Aniplex, you got to stop and think: are they going to license something that nobody's ever heard of? In some cases, sometimes they will, but other cases, no. Because if they get like an overwhelming response, it's like, hey, license this, license that. They'll try to do their best to license it and get it out here. But if like they say, hey guys, we licensed this, are you happy about this? Yes or no? A lot of people are going to say majority no now, because again, Japan decided to say, no, you guys aren't watching this anymore because we want to keep our money. But even though we make twice of what we lose, so it doesn't matter. And again, that's going to hurt the companies here, and then eventually we're going to be down to, and if it comes down to that, we're going to be down to Funimation and Aniplex paying $100+ for each box set like we were back in the day.
And plus, some other, what do you call it? I'm sure you guys probably know this, but I'm sure these companies at least go on Twitter and all these social media sites to see the responses of the shows to at least say, hey, you know what, we might need to pick this up, or this might need to be one show this might need to be a show that we might need to round off our selection with for right now.
Well, Funimation and Sentai would, but Aniplex, I don't think they give a shit about what people say on Twitter.
Well, quite frankly, I'm kind of glad in a way that they do that. So I'm glad, because the people that complain about Aniplex most of the time are fucking tards. But like, would you all agree with me on that? That they probably go to these social media things and are like, well, you know what, man, these guys really might like this show. And I realize that these companies have certain licenses with different companies, and to how like they're pretty much almost guaranteed something. But like, if they have a right to a show that's not really doing good at all, or people don't like it, that doesn't mean that they're going to get it. That means more than likely that, well, like, that means that they probably won't get it. Sorry, as I should put it, because the fans maybe don't want it. And so when you take that away, if you were to take it away to where we can't see anything new, how, or like y'all had said, how are the companies here supposed to know what to get? Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, there's still going to be some some streaming sites out there or whatever that there's still going to be streaming sites out there where people can watch anime on or whatever, but they're taking down a lot of these different sites that I saw on this list, especially I see a shit ton of people use Not every single day in order to download an anime and watch it, batch downloads, Blu-ray downloads, what have you. And it's most of the time that some of the, a lot of these people they don't buy the anime like they should be. Like, if they think this anime is really good, hey, go out and buy it. Support your company, or support the anime or whatever, the anime industry. Do they do that? No, but it's those same people that may not buy the anime that buy the actual products for the show itself. They're still giving them money.
Right, and that's where they make a majority of their money, is with merchandise itself. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and just the varied sites on this list are absolutely ridiculous. And I know they've been fighting for the manga thing forever, and to be honest, that's actually not fair to a lot of us because, hey, you guys, you have this manga over in Japan, okay? We want to read it here. Now, what you guys need to do is get in contact with one of the manga companies here and have it brought out here so we can all read it. Well, otherwise, we're going to go to a different site and read an English translated version of it because we have people here that actually work on stuff like that and actually put it out for all of us to read because you guys refuse to get in contact with these companies and bring it out here. And stuff like JoJo's, Medaka Box. I mean, just all the different stuff that doesn't have an anime or has a manga over in Japan, but will not be brought over here because Japan seemingly doesn't want to bring about half of their manga base over here.
And also, though, another thing is that no matter how we like to look at it, these bookstores here in America are slowly going away because printed media here in America isn't as big as it used to be. So eventually when stores like Barnes & Noble and stuff suffer the same fate as Borders, we won't see manga here at all unless you go to a convention, and then the only place you can turn to is the internet.
What in the hell was that?
Oh, nothing. But yeah, I agree. I mean, Though
think
I don't see Barnes and Noble going out of business anytime soon. As long as they have a business connection with Starbucks, I think they're going to be in business for quite a long time. But it's this thing of them, having manga at like 10 to 12 to $13 a book. I mean, that's actually kind of expensive for a book that's no more than what, like 100, or not even like that many pages long. Like it has like 5 chapters in it. And that's kind of a lot for a smaller book when most,
and
when most bigger, hardback books that have like 20, 30, 40 chapters only cost about like $15, $20.
and it's going up by like $2 every like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man, I've noticed that too. Because if you go online and look at Naruto, for example, man, like the most popular volumes are the ones that usually don't have like as much like filler-ish stuff in it, or at the most like $7.99, right? But if you go to Barnes or anything like that, like the cheapest you'll find it is like only like $8. So you're
And
gonna,
you can look at this just through the Bleach volumes. Go to number 1 and it's only $7.99. Go to number 28 and it's $9.99. Go to volume 50 and it's probably at $11.99 because I actually stopped buying the Bleach manga.
yeah, I agree, and and same thing with like Tri-Ejects, man. From what I have, if you were to buy it online, it's only $10. It's only $10, right? But if you go to Barnes, it's 14 plus tax.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of the same with a lot of the manga I bought too, because I noticed when I buy like when I bought my last volume of Haganai, it was like eight. I forget actually how much it was, but it was expensive. It was like, I think it was like $10, almost a little over $10, $11. I look online, like one volume is like $8.99 to like $9.50.
And
Uh,
like,
and I'm like, that's actually kind of ridiculous because they're charging an extra dollar or two for something that I can get cheaper for $2 online. But it's therein lies the problem because a lot of the time the shipping for these places is outrageous. Like just a regular, old, hey, it'll get here to like, 2 to 7 business days. It's like it's $3.50, and I mean that's still you're paying. Then that means you would be paying more online than you would in Barnes and Noble.
right,
You're pretty
exactly,
much just saving like a dollar or two shot going to Barnes and Noble, paying that price instead of buying it online. And
right.
that's kind of my fear in a sense. If Japan decides to start bringing out a lot of the manga they have over here and having it put out on shelves, I'm wondering if these prices are going to continue to go up. Because if it gets to be to the point, I mean, I've seen like an omnibus of Blood Lad. It's like the first like 5 volumes or whatever in one little thing. That's like $20. I'm like, that's ridiculous. I know it's the first 5 volumes and all, but it's kind of outrageous that they want you to pay $20 for just this solo like omnibus book.
Well, like, what do you call it? I was gonna say, I think like Omnibus for Naruto too is for 3 volumes is only, I think, like $10. That's it.
I mean, how much is like the Attack on Titan omnibus right now?
I think you get, how many chapters is it? No, 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 no. You get like 4 or 5 volumes.
that colossal edition printed color thing.
Yeah, and it's in color, and it's $45. That is a smoking ass deal.
Yeah, and then you get
And you get what?
oh, breaking news. Neo Na is said to be the new Nia website that will open in 4 days. So apparently there will be a new Nia Torrents website. You heard it here first.
Well,
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
so it looks like more and more of it's just a wee bit true, but we're still not for sure.
But yeah, the manga thing, and I mean, how much did that High School of the Dead omnibus when that first came out in color?
Uh, Actually, it's been the same price, surprisingly. But for what I had to pay for it, I bought it online on Amazon, and if you buy this online, anywhere online, pretty much, it's only going to be 40 or $45, which is really good. And I'm a freaking manga companies. I'm telling you now, listen to me, listen to me. if you guys do a special omnibus stuff, please, for the love of God, do what I think who has the rights to High School of the Dead Yen Press? I think it's
Mm,
like
yeah, I think it's Yen Press.
I forget, yeah, I think it's Yen Press. Do what Yen Press did, and please pull the actual image away from the spine by like an inch, like they did, because it makes reading it a lot easier and it looks better, guys. And do it on really nice paper too, just like the Attack on Titan and High School of the Dead stuff. But
But
most of all, move the damn frame of the panel itself like an inch away from the spine, please. Sorry, that's my little rant right there.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's cool that the omnibuses are like $40-$45 and they're in color. I can understand why it costs that much because it's in color. It takes a lot of ink. That's why it's $40-$45. The Blood Lad manga. What the hell? This is an omnibus that has the first 5 volumes of it, this is like volume 1, 2, 3, and 4. That have like 5 volumes in it a piece, if I remember. Um, Literally, this each of these omnibuses is $20 a piece, and it's still in black and white. If I'm paying $20 for it, I expect some color here and there, not just straight black and white, black edge pages. I mean, while it looks cool and all, it's just I'm not gonna pay $20 for an omnibus, of just black and white. I'd rather pay a little bit more and have it put in color.
Dude, man, I love High School of the Dead in color, and what do you call it? I saw the Attack on Titan thing, or for the manga for that, and the only reason why I didn't get that is because you guys know me, is that I'm a big like condition freak, and that the actual cover for it was just like this regular like kind of like a cardboardish paperish thing, instead of like with High School of the Dead, they went with a really nice hard cover for it, which is really nice and it has a lot of good durability. So that's another thing, guys. If y'all do special omnibuses like that, make sure it's a really nice hardcover. I don't mind paying a little bit more for it. Sorry, I got spoiled by High School of the Dead.
But yeah, I guess with that we should kind of move on to our anime news technically.
Well, like, hang on here just a second. Nui, did you have anything that you wanted to say about this, or are you just devastated because we haven't heard from you?
I'm close to almost heartbroken right now. So yeah, that's why I'm not saying anything. Too much, man. Just too much.
Okay. All right. On to you, Phoenix.
So, besides for that news, guess I'll go into the one big piece of news. Well, not big piece of news compared to this, but newsworthy. But it was confirmed on Twitter today that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3, otherwise known as Stardust Crusaders, at the beginning of the fall season will be going on a season-long break, and the show will resume after the New Year break, meaning that JoJo's will actually end in the spring season.
Yeah, in a sense, I'm kind of glad it's because not only like if since it's gonna end in fall, we've got ample time here in the spring season, if I remember, or when are we in summer right
Summer.
now? Summer season.
Yeah,
Okay,
summer.
we've got ample time in the summer season right now. We're still gonna get through a crap ton of just kind of filler stand people. I know we still have I think we've got the Death Stand coming up. Then after that should be Boingo and Boingo, and then after this, so it's just gonna get a lot more. There's gonna be a lot more guys. We're gonna have Darby the Gambler, Darby the Gamer. Just it's gonna end pretty much. Well, I think it's gonna end before it'll be like the last episode before it ends technically for the fall season, or before the fall season. The last episode will be them before they go to Egypt And in that time frame, there are actually a lot of people that they do face. So,
And episode 24 will be the last episode aired before it goes on the break.
yeah. And in a sense, I'm glad because this not only gives the time, it's only kind of still mad about that other thing, but this gives what was it? The animators. Like, this gives the animators at the Davis Productions. It gives them time off, to just kick back. It's like, okay, well, now it's time to start working on the rest of the show. Now they have they're gonna have a bit of a break. They'll come back after New Year, and it's pretty much already assured that they have the rest of the series done. And it's almost pretty well. I want to hope that they have the rest of it done, but they have to have up to a certain point done so far. That's why they're taking this fall to after New Year's break, so that when we come back, we'll still have more JoJo's to watch in the new year, which will help. It'll help everybody pretty much. It gives a lot of people a break from JoJo's, because I think it's part 3 is one of the longest parts of the JoJo's franchise. And not only does that give the animators off, it gives the voice actors some time off so they can relax. It gives everybody in the company a good amount of time to just say, you know what, let's break. We finally got all this done. Let's break. Let's go have some fun, and then we'll get back to work. And that's good because it keeps them fresh, it keeps them happy, and it keeps them working hard.
But I'm gonna miss JoJo's.
Well, I mean, all of the JoJo fanatics will miss JoJo's, but if you've read the manga, part 3, like I have, it gives, you pretty much know what's going to happen in the show, so you can wait a little bit for it to come back.
But I know, but I haven't watched. I know, but I haven't read it.
In this time frame, then, it gives people plenty of time to go look at part 3 of the manga and actually go read it now.
And or catch up on the anime.
Yeah.
Dude, I love JoJo's. I'm so glad I went to Arizona Midnight Channel's panel of it, and Phoenix Comic Con.
Watch though, summer 2015, episode 1 of part 4.
Well, actually, I read that Crunchyroll article. It said that the part 4 is not confirmed as of yet, so it may be towards sometime. If we do hear a confirmation of part 4, it will be sometime next year that we'll get that confirmation, and then it'll probably be sometime at the end of the year if it starts showing. So, unfortunately, part 4 is not confirmed as of yet. So.
Well, I can tell you one thing I'm gonna miss too is the oh no's.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man, especially when I'm a fucking Dan, I'm his stand.
Yeah, stealing Dan.
Inside of him, they have to cut his, and I'm a fucking emerald, and I'm a
Silver chariot. Yeah,
silver chariots.
You have to cut his they have a cut a blood vein in order to get all of that to his brain. Yeah.
And then he's like, oh my god, and everyone thinks he's a fucking lunatic. Dude, I'm gonna miss that so much.
Actually, I do have a little bit on that. Former Megadeth guitarist Marty Friedman is actually going to be helping with a little I guess an audio booklet thing to teach you how to speak like Joseph Joestar when he's an old guy.
No shit.
I read that somewhere. I read that in an article. I'm like, holy crap, really? I want to get this now.
Too many likes JoJo's.
It's yeah, there's one part in this in the new episode where you hear him go, "Son of a bitch." I got a pretty good kick out of that.
Dude, man, I still need to watch it. I still need to watch that episode. I have it.
And so, with that being said, we will take another 5-minute break and then come back with hot releases, nice shipping, and our final thoughts. Stay tuned. You are listening to the MSDF LiveCast.
Alright, is everybody here? Okay, looks like everyone will be here in about like 10 to 20 seconds.
Okay, I'm back.
Oni-chan?
I am back.
Ani-chan.
And I am back.
Okay. And welcome back to the MSDF LiveCast.
We have all had a drink of Minori and have calmed down over Japan, so let's get back with this regular scheduled programming. With hot releases. And Zombie, do you have a list, or do we need to go off mine?
Let's go off yours.
Okay, so for the week of July 27th to August 2nd, we got, as far as anime releases go, we got 2 Bleach movie double feature of Memories of Nobody and Diamond Dust Rebellion. That coming out. We have Dear Brothers DVD Set 1.
Dear Brothers.
Dear Brother.
Oh, Dear Brother. Okay, sorry.
Dr. Slump, the movies 1 through 5. Monster Rancher DVD Season 2 and Season 3.
Monster Ranch.
The Sentai release of the, and the release of the week for me, if you listen to This Week in Anime, the Problem Children are coming from another world, aren't they? Both in Blu-ray and DVD. And then, of course, the highly bitched about Senran Kagura Blu-ray, DVD, complete series. And then we have, finally, Vampire Knight DVD Collection Seasons 1 and 2. So that's as far as manga goes.
Anime.
As far as anime goes. Did I actually just say manga?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
That's because I was looking at the mangas.
It's because he was looking at a picture of the lesbian boob ninjas.
I'm so disturbed by the fact that the OVAs aren't going to be part of this.
Yeah.
And for manga, we have a normal graphic novel. We have From the New World, Volume 5. Kinoku Inu, Volume 1. Missions of Love, Volume 8. My Little Monster, Volume 3. One is Enough graphic novel. And Vinland Saga, Volume 4. Sorry, when as fast as that, I was trying to skip the adult releases. Unless you want to hear those.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure, what the hey.
We got Blue Sheep, Volume 6.
Bah.
Disciplinarian. How to Get Dumped in Style.
What the
No.
fuck?
Isn't that the new Tyler Perry movie?
Nurse's Sweet Naked Truth.
Man, that sounds like a really bad love novel.
Scat included.
Splat of Love. Or no, Splash of Love.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry about that. Splash of Love, Volume 2.
Splat
And-
of Love is about the they're using that Nickelodeon ooze stuff on them.
It's
She
all
wanted
green.
to get slimed, but in a different way. And then finally, for the adult releases, we got Teach Me a Lesson. Those-
That was all.
And those are your literal hot releases for the week.
That's funny.
And now we go into, because we don't have a boat, we like to call this nice shipping.
And
Does
who
anybody
here
have anything?
Yeah.
Well, if I can get a problem resolved, I don't know. Actually, no, that's not going to come in for a while once I get that problem resolved. But Yeah, I got some good news. My Miss Monochrome Android should be coming in on the 8th. So
Yay!
no news on the Mako Android yet though.
Maybe that's the one that's having the problem.
I don't know.
Unless they haven't actually sent you an email saying when that one's going to come out.
No, I just got one from Miss Monochrome.
Oh.
You mean the Japanese government's all like, man, this fucker watches anime online. I mean, we're not gonna send him his figure.
Better send me my figure. I paid for it.
Try and download anime on my watch, faggot.
Oh, Jesus.
You mean they're like, alright, Western world, it's time to spread those butt cheeks. Because here comes 500 tons of rape.
We'll show you a literal splat of love.
But yeah, other than that, I don't have anything else coming in.
What about you, Nui? I mean, did you have anything you pre-ordered or anything like that of anything?
No, I haven't. Like I said, I've been broke lately.
Any purchases lately, even on like Steam or anything like that?
Oh, I did purchase, like I said earlier, the Dead Eye collection. It comes with Dead Island, Gamer Edition, Riptide, and I get like the 2 DLC with it. And I got a coworker gave me this RPG game code for free, which I was like, oh, it's like, what is this? And it's like, hang on, let me pull it up. It's shit. Where is it? It's right here. The Legend of
It's a free
Heroes.
pop to me.
No,
I was
no.
gonna say it's a free pop-up to fucking meetswing.com or some sort of shit like that.
You spin me right round, baby, right round.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna say
Whoa, dude, you were like buzzing
the
crazy.
Legend
You're
of
cutting out.
the
Derek, stop. Okay, there. I don't know
Legend
why
of
the
Heroes.
damn.
Okay.
It's the Japanese
Alright, I thought I heard
government.
myself back
They've
there.
infected our podcast.
These fuckers were talking about us. It's all like, heard you talking some shit.
Yeah, we got a nuke.
They sent guts at us.
But yeah, it's an awesome RPG game so far. I finally purchased my costume. Ha 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 ha.
And what about you, Otaku?
And as for me, there are 2 possibilities of stuff that I'm going to be ordering here within the next. Well, one thing I need to actually order in the next few days if I actually want to get it here before Sabo, and that's the second cosplay for Sabo. And then I also am thinking about ordering this Chiwa figure off of Ami Ami. But nothing as far as actually getting stuff.
Okay. And I think for me, I don't really have anything. Mainly because I'm waiting towards Sabo and stuff because that's when I'll be getting a good amount of money and stuff I'm gonna take out of my bank account. And that's when I I usually don't spend like a whole crap ton of money at cons, but I'm sure you guys see that. Like, I do spend like a decent amount of money at cons, but like half of my money goes to getting shows and stuff. Usually, I usually spend like $300 or so on like animation series, and I usually spend like 200 or 300 at the con. But nothing though for me though, as of right now.
And with that being said, I guess we can move on to, since we only have a half hour left, we move on to our final thoughts of the day. And this time we are starting off with Nui.
Goddamn. To be honest, my true final thoughts about the about the anime and shit. It's pretty hard for me right now. Because only where I go get anime and shit to watch and shit. I'm just, I'm sorry, am I cutting out?
Yeah, yeah, like a little bit.
Sound better?
Yep.
Yeah,
So yeah, because like I watch anime and stuff like you guys said earlier, and you know what? If it really goes through like that bullshit they're gonna try to did like a while ago with what do you call it? Try to limit the internet. What's it called again? FIFA or some shit. I don't know.
wait a minute, what are you talking about?
Oh,
Oh, he's talking about them trying to, limit the internet, like that stupid fucking CISPA or whatever the fuck it was.
I thought it was
yeah,
like called like SOPA or something.
yeah, SOPA and PIFA.
What did you call it first?
I said FIFA. I can't fucking
Well,
remember.
well, to be honest, when the World Cup was on, FIFA did control the internet.
He did.
Corrupting it.
Yeah, fucking this whole world.
I fucking hate soccer.
It's football.
Shot fired.
And there goes all our non-American viewers.
Bam. But yeah, this is pretty much what it's like, and I'm like fucking depressed right now. I'm pretty much just stressed out from today and shit, so I'm just gonna keep it short because I don't want to go into like that. So I'll just pass it along now. Here's the torch.
I guess that goes into me next, I guess.
Yep.
Of course.
I kind of touched on it earlier, or on our last segment when we were talking about Japan. I get it that a lot of people out there do torrent. That's the best way to watch a show sometimes is in a really good high quality and through a torrent. I know I stream, I don't torrent more so because I don't have a computer. But if I did, I'd be torrenting just as much as well. Only difference is I would actually go out, and if I enjoyed a show a certain amount, I would actually go and buy it and purchase it so I can have it in my collection and to support the industry. Now, there are a lot of people who go out there and torrent and watch certain shows and say, I didn't like this show enough, I'm not going to buy it. And I get that. If you didn't like a certain show, then you shouldn't buy it, and you're not going to waste money on it. But it's the thing of you're watching this certain show, you don't like it. Why did you watch it in full? Because that just caused, a lot of money loss there. It's just, if you torrent something you don't like, don't watch it all. Just watch, get rid of it. At best, just put it away. Don't just quit watching it if you didn't like it that much. But you gotta make sure you gotta start watching anime that you actually like. Because if you don't watch, or if you watch anime that you end up not liking, and that means you don't buy it and you don't support the industry. And I think that's something that kind of needs to be put on the shelf here or put up for discussion, because there's a majority of the people out there who torrent and do that. They don't support the anime industry. But there's also that small majority of people who do torrent and go out and buy the shows that they like. While again that's not a lot of people, that's still a lot more than what people think it is. What I'm trying to get across here, if you don't buy the anime, at least buy something. If you didn't like the show, help support the industry in some sort of way, shape or form. Like donate to like or anime site or something, or help funding for like torrent stream, or help funding for like actually to become a legal site. I don't know. I'm still just kind of rolling off of that the whole anti-piracy discussion. So, I guess what I'm trying to get across is if you don't like a show, don't torrent it. But if you like, make sure you don't like this show like watch like the.
Come on, Tim.
I'm
Come
just
on.
kind of tongue tied here. I mean, give it the 3 episode rule. If you don't like it, drop it. Don't continue to watch it. If you get the 3 episode rule and you like it, keep watching it. If you like it enough, go out, support it, and that's all I can really say.
All right. I guess I'll continue on, and I do have some more stuff to say about the whole piracy thing. And I think one thing that Purvy's trying to touch on, and this is what I do as far as torrents go, is I'll go on to just like a normal streaming site. And every show that I plan on watching, I'll watch the first 3 episodes of it. And then after 3 episodes, if there's a series that I know that I'm not going to drop, that will be the show. And if I really loved it, that will be the show that I download. And when it comes out, and when I have the money for it, I will buy it. Torrenting for me is just a temporary hold on a product that I have not been able to buy yet.
And that's pretty much how I see it, too.
And that is what it should be. But when you're talking to to people, this is not really that easy of a conversation to hold when given the fact that this is technically regarded as illegal. And people will always tell you, use something like Crunchyroll and watch it legally. Do something that supports the industry. But there are better ways to handle torrenting. After a series has been licensed and the DVD is almost out, take down the torrents for that for that show. If it's available here, don't make it available to torrent so people have to go out and buy it. And if they want to preview it, let them see the first episode. But don't take away your chance to get a new fan into this show and bring you in more money. One thing, though, is the Blu-ray rips. I don't think we should have those because that is an actual product being taken, put on there, and people will download that instead of going out and actually buying the Blu-ray, because now instead of going out there and spending $70 for a Blu-ray, they now have the whole thing.
Now, one thing I want to touch on with that real quick is that, like, what do you call it? I know that if this service does come into play, it's where you pay the $7 and you can get any show, right? That's airing in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that some shows will be censored and stuff. So for people that are throwing a shit fit about that, well, I want the Blu-rays because, what do you call it? I want to see it uncensored or the way it was supposed to be, right? And let's say that a company over here in America doesn't have the rights to it, and so you're like, well, what the hell then, right? What I think that Japan should do if they are going to do this is that when stuff does get released, and even in Japan, have it set to what like Aniplex does, is that like you can't buy the Blu-rays on the actual internet itself to download if you are from Japan. I don't think you should be able to, and let the other people do it, but just at a higher price.
Actually, what the price of the Blu-ray would be. Let them technically buy the Blu-ray, but have it downloaded as a digital copy instead of having a physical form of it that will never get released in America.
Right. I think something along those lines could work too. Anyway, I'm sorry for interrupting you there.
It's okay. But torrenting could make this... If things were to change with the torrenting thing, then there probably wouldn't be this big of a deal with Japan to go out there and take down this. But if Japan really wants to get serious, they should go with that idea. And I think we are seeing the first steps as to what Japan is going to do in regards to this. I think what they've done is they've started off by buying non-torrents, and they're going to turn that into their subscription-based site where you can still download it, but you give them money that is given back to the industry. And their next step will be to buy the subgroups like Horrible Subs, Triple F, and all of them, and actually hire them to officially put subs on these releases. And for $7 a month or so, that is something that's worth it.
Now that's a value.
And like Zombie said, when a Blu-ray comes out, don't allow it to be downloaded in Japan, but let people outside of the country buy it.
Because pretty much the Blu-rays will already be out in Japan. The actual physical copies.
So right now, I think within the next month or so, we'll know kind of where the future of this whole thing is going to lie. This is apparently a 5-month campaign going on. So who knows where the landscape of anime and manga will be going into 2015. And with that, that is my final thoughts on the Zombie.
Pretty much, what do you call it? Since this looks like the way that it's going to be now to where we're going to have to pay, which I don't mind. I don't mind paying for it. As long as we, as I've said before, earlier, as long as we get every one of the shows, every one of the shorts, and every one of the OVAs that is supposed to air during those particular seasons, I will have no problem giving them my money. I won't have one problem. And the thing with like the Blu-rays and stuff is that like if we don't have the licensing for it for that show, but yet you will still want to see the Blu-ray for it, I'm gonna make it to where customers in Japan can't download it. Well, that pretty much would go for pretty much all DVD and Blu-ray regardless, because they would stop the reverse importation of it. So yeah, pretty much go that way. I really don't think there's anything else other than just me being startled because what do you call it? I don't know what to do now for the next like few days or so. I guess I'll just more than likely use now torrents or a stream site for right now to watch my anime that I'm watching for this season. I think that's pretty much it for my final thoughts.
Okay, and with that, Nui, lead us out like we usually lead us out.
Well, it's been all good LiveCast tonight. This will be it. I'm Harry Nui, 12.
I'm Pervy Fat Man.
This has been Phoenix Otaku.
And make sure to follow me on Twitter at Hung Like a Zombie. And also make sure to follow the official panelist group, or us. Go on and just search us out on Twitter. Just go to the search bar, type in MSDF, and we should come up. And our pictures should look like to where Usagi from Sailor Moon is telling Madoka that she is back. And just because you don't get your OVAs with your Blu-rays doesn't mean that you have to cry and whine like a little baby. This is the MSDF LiveCast.